Hi, I'm Becky. I rediscovered quilting after a very long hiatus. I'm very happy I did, but I'm also way behind on my quilting homework. I'll never catch up with the rest of the class, but I'm having a great time trying. So I just finished up my summer quilt, and so I am now looking forward to my next quilt. So what do I want to do? What do I want to learn? This is my list. Just a heads up, there are things that are mutually exclusive on the list. I'd like to make something from scraps and fabric that I already have. I'd like to do a color wash. I'm getting very interested in solids. I have some polka dots from K Facette that I've been eyeing. I want to practice some blocks that I've never done, including curves, which I actually have done, but very, very badly. And I'd like to design my own quilt. Of this list, the color wash really stands out to me. But so does the solids. I think it's going to be 2 quilts. Life is short. It'll be like a round of row, row, row your boat. The first one will start, row, row, row your boat, and as soon as it gets to a certain stage, the next one will start with row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. At least that's how I imagine it. For the color wash quilt, I am using a design that I used to make a color wash pillow. The design is by Tiny Orchard Quilts, and it is quarter square triangles that transition from one color to another, 3 colors. I think on a larger scale of a quilt, the transition will be better, more obvious, and more striking than it was on the pillow. And I'm going to use scraps for it. So I loaded the design onto my quilt planning software. And this is what it looks like in blue violet to orange, purple to orange, red to orange, wow, and blue violet to green. And this is the one I'm going to go with. It was very pleasing to my eye, very soothing. Because I'm changing the size of the blocks and because I'm going to be using scraps, I'm going to do a practice block to make sure that I have the pieces the right size and that it's going to work out. Some of the triangles will be from fabric. Some will be from fabric made from scraps, and some will be from larger rectangles that I had in my scraps. And this is the completed square. It started as a 9 by 9 inch square, and after sewing and trimming, it is 7.5 inches square. So this will work. For the quilt in solids, I have some fabric. I ordered it when I was trying to reach the threshold of free shipping, and I did have a quilt in mind, but when the fabric came, the idea had petered out. So instead, I'm going to design my own. I was inspired by this Instagram post, but this designer is very experienced and very talented, and so I have simplified it. Possibly not enough. Here is my design. I'm going to do a practice block for this one too, and I'm going to make a block that's going to be, I think, the hardest one to do, which is going to be the 12 half rectangle triangles together in one block. I've actually done something like this before, but I did it with scraps that were left over from a different project. This one is going to require some more precision and some math. The quilt I was going to make from this fabric must have been very large because there is a lot of fabric. I'm keeping track of the piecing mistakes that I'm making on video. I have an idea of what I want to do with them, and this one is a funny one. You know, a little bit over 7.5 inches, and it is. I better just do one of these and see right now. So we sew on either side of this line per the usual. Oh my heavens. Probably many of you saw the error of my ways. All right, well, luckily we've got a lot of fabric. So let me try this again. Okay, that That is correct. It needs to be 2.5 inches across, and I didn't make 2.5 inches. So I guess my question to myself is, why scrimp? Give yourself 3.5 inches. Okay, am I correct? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Okay, well, I'm going to move forward with the Scrappy Color Wash quilt. And I'm definitely going to do this black and white quilt, but it still needs some R&D. It is a gorgeous day in Seattle today. It is absolutely beautiful. Yesterday was the World Cup game here in Seattle, and there was so much positive energy. And I know I don't need an excuse, but it really got me going. And last night I had a marathon session and got a bunch of progress done on the color wash quilt. I am through the blue violets and I'm working on the aquas. I set up a little temporary makeshift design board, but now you can really see the progression of the color transition. The next column will be all aqua, and then we'll go in the other direction toward the greens. Aqua is the one that needed the most triangles because, I mean, of course, it's interacting with the purples and it's interacting with the greens. So I had to do some serious digging in my stash to find enough aqua. So I have those that I used already on the board, and then all of these. And then this was 12 shy. So I really had to go for it. I was opening boxes that I hadn't opened just to see like what was in there. So this is from my Jane Austen Emma stash. I believe this is a tulip pink piece, just partial. I was not going to use this dark a color, but I am going to use it. Again, that's going to be one triangle. Basically, I'm going to squeeze out 12 more triangles and finish up the aquas. I really have to be careful not to waste any of this fabric. And I've got my greens together and ready to cut into triangles, along with some of my pre-cuts. I will be back probably next week with an update on the color wash quilt and on my black and white solid quilt. I'm not giving up on that. It is absolutely going to happen, but I do have to do some more work on that. Interact with this video to tell YouTube to show it to more people. Thank you for being here. I will see you next time. Bye. I have a video about my favorite mistakes getting commemorated by refrigerator magnets. This is totally going to be one. This black and white paper airplane I created.